it.
Paul Bernardo is a brutal serial killer and rapist. He kidnapped, tortured, raped, and murdered teenage girls. His victims and their loved ones have to live with that grief forever. He traumatized an entire generation, the whole country. 2 weeks ago, that monster got moved out of max security. But 3 months before, the minister was told he did nothing, and now he says he can't do anything to keep this dangerous criminal locked up in max. His whole job is to keep Canadians safe, and he can't or he won't. So when will he name and fire the staffer he says screwed up, or just resign?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the member opposite is right in her characterization of these crimes. I think that she will find no argument from anyone. Let me say that all of us on this issue, I think, need to work together to make sure that the families are served and that victims are served. The minister has suggested a conversation about a victim-centered approach in corrections to make sure this mistake that was made independently by Correction Services doesn't happen again. And I hope that the member opposite would take up that conversation. I know how sincere she is in her horror of those events. I know she knows I'm sincere in mine.
The Honourable Member for Lakeland.
But Canadians want accountability and action. These ministers, they can blame everyone else all they want, but the truth is their policies endanger Canadians, and it's a habit. The Liberals soften sentences for kidnapping, sexual assault, and rape, and let those monsters do time at home among their victims and law-abiding neighbours. Crime has skyrocketed because the Liberals give bail, not jail, to violent criminals. But misleading Canadians is that minister's habit. He said law enforcement asked for the Emergencies Act. That wasn't true. He said all Beijing police stations in Canada were closed. That wasn't true. And he's misleading now, isn't he? We know that. When he says that he didn't know about Paul Bernardo's transfer. So when will he finally be accountable and stop all this deliberate deception and resign?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
I want to be absolutely clear again that I found out about this decision on May 30th. I agree with my colleague that
A hard time hearing the answer. I'm sure many other members are as well. I just want to remind some members that they have very strong voices. Maybe they're just trying to talk to someone close to them and their voices are very loud. I want them to be very mindful of the strength of their voices. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I've said on numerous occasions, I was personally informed on May 30th, the day after an independent decision was taken by CSE to transfer Paul Bernardo. I expressed shock and outrage at the time, along with the families. I should have been briefed immediately by my staff. I have dealt with that matter internally through corrective steps, and going forward, we have new instructions to the CSE coming to put victims at the very center of these decisions. We will ensure they are notified so that we can take a trauma-informed approach.
The Honourable Member for South Surrey White Rock.